Hi there, welcome. Welcome to Homekeepers. Come right on in, folks. We're all dressed up for the season. I imagine your house is all dressed up too, and seems to come around more quickly every year. I was just talking to my guest, Kathy Arrington, a while ago. I said, you get to my age, you might as well leave your decorations up because it seems like you get them put away and you haul them out the next week. By the way, Kathy Arrington is my guest today, and especially in the Tampa Bay area, she's pretty well known and has she's got a legacy already, and she's still very much alive and kicking, of real kind of ministry. She was involved, I think she was state director for Concerned Women for America. You might remember that one. Right now she's the chairman of the board for New Life Solutions, and I think only God knows for sure how many babies that great organization has saved, and it's a huge job that she carries, a huge load. But besides that, we go back at least 30 years, so we won't have any problem talking, I can promise you that. In fact, we might need to kind of extend the show, so I'm glad to welcome Kathy back. In fact, I was reminded today she was the first guest on Homekeepers, so boy, we're glad to have her back. And Stephanie and I are going to fix a breakfast sausage casserole. Sometimes when you think about Christmas Day, breakfast is really, maybe it's as important as the big meal, because that's when you get up and you're probably all in your pajamas, you know, and getting ready to open gifts. So this is one you might want to consider. But before I join her, I want to remind you again that we are viewer supported, and toward the end of the year, sometimes people like to catch up on their giving, because thank God in America we still get to take credit for the giving that we do to Christian ministries. So let me encourage you to, if you want to use your credit card, 1-800-229-0059, or write to us at Homekeepers, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. We love getting your notes and your kindness, and also got a couple letters I need to write this week for people that are just so discouraged. You can just feel it coming right off of the page. So that contact with us, we want to minister to you above everything else. So I hope you'll make note of that. And we got a lot of stuff to put together, huh?
Yes, we do. But real quick, so I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks, and my brain has already left, and Arthelene is not much better than me right now. So this morning, we're getting all of this ready, okay? And you had to toast the bread. So we toasted the bread for the first one. I put the toast in the bread in the oven for the second one. She did not know that. We walked away. Thankfully, she turned the oven off, because this is what we came back to.
And that's not pumpernickel bread.
That's not pumpernickel bread. That is burnt to a crisp.
You think of the hand of the Lord, because I didn't know that was in there.
And thankfully, she turned the oven off. She didn't realize I put it in, or we would have came back to, I don't know,
Wanda and I
charcoal
came
briquettes.
down because we borrowed your nativity.
Yes.
So we came down here, and I kept smelling something burning. I'm sorry. I think the Lord ordered our steps here, but
For sure.
So we got some new bread here.
So Susan thought it was pumpernickel and tasted it, and it was a charcoal briquette is what it was. So that's what's happening right now in Homekeepers world, okay?
And I got to make a few more shows with her before Christmas, so
you don't know what's going to happen. Stay tuned, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Okay.
No. Okay.
I'll do my regular
Okay, you're going to
here.
spray the pan. I've got 4 eggs. I've got 2 cups of milk. I have sausage that we browned up and drained. I have a cup of cheese. I have a half a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of dry mustard. And we're going to mix that all together, and 6 pieces of bread.
Just not a whole lot of ingredients, really.
No, so this is your friendly reminder. You have a group to feed on Christmas morning, okay? You make this the night before. You put it in your refrigerator, and the bread soaks up all this goodness. And then in the morning, you stick this in the oven, and you can make pancakes or French toast with it, and you have a whole entire meal to feed your crew without a lot of work.
It'll hold you till you do the big meal.
So you aren't in the kitchen the whole time while
Does
everyone.
this bread go in here now?
Sure. Okay. You're not in the kitchen the whole time while everyone else is enjoying Christmas.
I would.
So I said no more breakfast casseroles because we had overdone it, but this is your friendly reminder.
Well, it's an awfully good thing for Christmas Day.
And then once you put this together, it does need to sit in the refrigerator for 4 hours to overnight. That's why it's best.
So that's why it's such a
Yes, that's why
blessing.
it's just best to do overnight. And then you wake up in the morning, you just stick it in the oven. So those were the 6 pieces of bread. These are not toasted. You don't have to toast them. I think it would just that's what this recipe called for. But we've had other recipes that didn't call for it.
It doesn't call to put them in the oven and burn them.
It does not call for burning them. Don't do that. But that's part of living, you know. That's part of cooking. That's
What's
part.
so interesting? It's as hard as a rock.
It's a briquette. Oh, look at that.
Look, it's black all the way through. That was a
Like,
white. Thank you, Lord, that we
completely
didn't burn
forgot
the place
I
down.
put it in the oven.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
My very first week here at CTN, I made popcorn in a microwave that I didn't know the temperature, and I burnt it so bad that they could smell it downstairs.
And they kept you.
And I'm still here. And that's when I started my Homekeepers. No. Look at that. It's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
So you want to make sure the bread is sopping up all that goodness.
And it's got everything in it that you would have in a breakfast.
It smells heavenly. I
got-
said, if you made pancakes or French toast with this in the morning, I mean, you wouldn't have to, but kids like that yummy goodness.
Yeah, but
You'd have everything you need.
Yeah, but if you do French toast or pancakes, you're busy. You won't be busy with this. You just put it on the
True.
table and
True. Well, I know some
Get 'em
mamas
their
out there, they like to put out
get
the
'em their
full
coffee
spread,
and-
and that's me.
tell them to be
Okay, let's try it.
see if that comes right out. Yeah, it will.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
Because I don't have a spatula handy.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's your whole breakfast. It's got your toast in it.
It's beautiful.
Sausage,
Oh, we're
eggs.
moving things all over, and cameras are trying to catch it. So
Oh, okay.
here you go.
And all those eggs.
Oh, so good.
That is excellent.
I haven't eaten lunch yet. I'm starving.
Excellent.
So good. You
It's
want this on
everything you would
Christmas
order
morning.
for breakfast all put together. So it's called a Christmas breakfast sausage casserole. If you want it, information's coming up on your screen. We'll be glad to get it to you any way that's convenient for you. Now, a lot of you have met Kathy Arrington, but if you haven't, you are going to love her. I absolutely guarantee it, so stay with us.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
Okay, it's great to welcome you back.
Thank you. It's a
We've-
joy to be here.
We've done over 3,000 programs since you were here, so.
Wait, I got to do your first. Lord willing, this won't be your last.
No.
You have so much left to give.
Well, between you and Jack, we could probably do a couple hours, but we're going to have to condense it. I want to talk about you a little bit first. You fell in love with Jack when you were in junior high, right?
First day I laid eyes on him, I was 14 years old. I was in junior high, and I pointed to him. He was the new kid in the school that day, and I said to my girlfriend, "You see that guy right there? I'm going to marry him one day."
You did?
I did. Didn't know I was a
Wow. Well, and-
prophetess at the time.
And she did. And when we get into his book, Without a Dime, what an interesting life story. You'll find out the role that she played. But let's go back to Concerned Women for America. That was kind of the first Christian women's group that dealt with political issues.
Yes, pro-life, pro-family, pro-Christian. And we were dealing with that. That's Beverly LaHaye's national group,
Yes.
largest women's group in the nation.
And they're still going good.
Yes, they are a wonderful organization. So I cut my pro-life teeth there. And at the same
weren't
time,
you head of the state here?
I was head of the state for several years,
Women.
and then was asked to join the national board, and eventually became the chairman of the national board. It was just an amazing opportunity.
You know, when that all happened, you kind of wonder, where were the Christians before that time?
They were coming out around then. We were sounding the alarm.
Yeah, but
so many organizations were, and we still are.
It's because things got so bad, and
yes,
it was Disney World compared to what we are today.
We are in a world of hurt today, and if the Christians don't take a stand for righteousness, if they don't stand for life, if they don't help to rescue the innocent that are being led to slaughter, it's going to be such a sad, sad ending. While you and I sit here and talk, every 30 seconds a baby is aborted in the United States. Think about that.
Yeah,
that is a battle that breaks God's heart. It certainly breaks mine.
And do they really think God will not deal with this someday on it big time?
They will eventually learn.
Now, you're the chairman of the board of New Life Solutions, and that is a wonderful organization here. I remember when we did Operation Rescue and those kind of, you were very much involved in that.
Yes.
But you're the chairman of the board, and it's a pretty, I call it a business, but it's a big situation to deal with.
It is. The work of New Life Solution matters. It makes a difference for eternity. What we do is actually life and death, heaven and hell.
Right.
We rescue the innocent that are being led to slaughter. Since we were founded in 1985, we have, that we know of, documented know of, saved 10,000 babies from being aborted. And we honestly believe that that number is easily triple and beyond.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because sometimes they'll come through our door and they'll hear the message and they will save their baby, but they don't come back. But those are ones that we absolutely know. Right now, with our 4 crisis pregnancy centers, we have 1 in Tarpon Springs, 1 in Pinellas Park, and 2 in Tampa. We are saving over 500 babies a year. And
Praise
we
God for that.
want it to be ever so much more. And then we have other support programs that are all in the pro-life ministry.
And this goes back to when it was called the Christian Action Councils, when it started.
It started with
And I was involved in that.
Yes, with Dick and Sandy Urey, we're starting the Christian Action Council, eventually became the Crisis Pregnancy Centers of Pinellas County. And then in more recent days, our umbrella New Life Solutions. So
I love that name.
I do too. And we have the solutions. In our crisis pregnancy centers, they are called a woman's place. And that's where we really truly do try to rescue those. And then we have a support group called Shepherd's Village. It's a residential housing group, amazing. And that is for women with children that have found themselves single under very difficult circumstances. A fabulous 2-year program to help them and mentor them. And then our abstinence program for the teens and our Passages program. I want to get them all in. Our Passages program that ministers to those who have had, men and women, who have suffered the trauma of abortion. Sometimes
We forget the daddies.
Yes. Oh, the daddies. They matter. They matter.
Yep.
So we are there. We are there.
And the areas we're talking about is the Tampa Bay area, but probably especially in your more metropolitan areas, you'll find like ministries.
Yes.
There's no reason to have an abortion. There's plenty of people that will help to rescue that baby, help the mother. And so I honor Kathy for what she has done in the past and what she's still doing. We want to talk about a book that her husband wrote, Jack Arrington. He was a friend of mine. It's called Without a Dime, and it's it's kind of a riveting life that he's had. And he has been in heaven almost 5 years. And also, this is one of the greatest love stories I've ever known about up close. It was flawless, really, the devotion that the two of you had for each other. And Jack was having some pains in his back, went to see about it, and he had 1 week to live. How can cancer be such a thief that it just sneaks
It's evil.
everywhere?
It's so evil. So many people have suffered so. we lost him so very quickly.
Yeah.
He was healthy and strong and vibrant. He was writing that book. He'd been writing on it for about 3 years. His heart was to mentor businessmen and women to be the very best they could be in life, not just in business, but in their whole life. And he was driven, and he was a success. And he's got some amazing secrets to help guide them.
Yes, and the wonderful thing is they are throughout the book, they are explained, but then at the back of the book, they're in a list. And the beautiful thing is this isn't somebody with an MBA or PhD or anything else. He could not read well until into his 30s.
Yes.
You said the main problem was dyslexia, but nobody knew what it was.
Nobody knew what it was. They just told him he was stupid, he was an idiot, he couldn't learn, there was no hope for him. It took him 9 years to get to the 7th grade. He didn't have the gifts that some children do today. But what he did have was determination. And he had that drive. And he didn't have the thinking where he's just going to think what somebody's told him how to think.
Yeah.
He had to grab life by the seat of the pants. Of course, he didn't know the Lord. He was on his own. He was struggling. He was going. And this book beautifully tells that story of how he started without a dime and became such a very successful man in life.
It's so readable. It is so interesting, and we're going to keep this website up. You can get it there, but it's also on Amazon.com, and it's called Without a Dime by Jack Arrington. He got a job in a barber shop, and he said that taught him to really groom himself. He learned every step of the way.
He did. He was gorgeous, wasn't he?
He was very smart.
Oh, my goodness, he was a gorgeous man.
Yes, very, very good looking, and there are a few pictures in here that might be worth the price of the book. But he ended up having, was it 14 businesses?
We had over 14 that we can remember. He was a serial entrepreneur.
But also he would nothing was beneath him.
Oh, no.
I mean, he would sweep the floors, he would take the garbage out, he would be a busboy, bag boy, whatever. And makes you wonder about some of the things I know there's some great millennials out there, and you can't put them all in a box. But we do have a part of our generation today that really feels entitled. Jack never felt that way.
Oh, gosh, no. It's actually a blessing to have to struggle.
I think so.
I mean, how are you going to learn? If you're in the womb and you don't struggle to get out, you're never going to experience life.
And I'm not sure in most books about how to succeed, you get really horse sense that will propel you.
Yes. One of the keys in this book is his quote, "If you are not drawing your own lines, you are coloring in someone else's dream." You have to have a vision and a goal. And if you just keep yourself boxed into what someone else is telling you, you're never going to reach outside to the potential that God has colored in your life. This quote was so important to our middle grandson, Corey, that he claimed this as his quote when he graduated high school.
Your grandson spoke at his memorial service.
Yes, 3 of our grandchildren spoke, both of the boys, Casey and Corey. If you don't get the book for any other reason and read what they shared about their grandfather, you will know that you can be a success when all the odds are against you. And it's not about the money in the bank. It's that helps. But it's about love, it's about the influence. He says, and this is 27 powerful secrets to life, love, and business. And one of the things he says in here is make love more than you make money, because love leaves a legacy that money can't buy.
That's exactly
your
right.
relationships with yourself, your family, and predominantly with the Lord.
Well, I think another thing about this book, the two of you were like that. He included you in the business.
Oh, yes.
Your lives were just totally compatible that way. And there's something there because the Bible says marriage is a mystery. And I think that itself was a great component in his success.
We were fitly joined together.
Yes, you were.
He had amazing strengths in business that he developed over the years, but he was no good at book work. He couldn't spell. He couldn't read when we first married. He became fabulously educated when he learned how to read. He would never put anything down. He says he does have a degree, a PhD, past having doubts. He's been through so many experiences in life that he's learned. Yeah. But yes, we worked together beautifully and filled in each other's weaknesses and built up each other's strengths.
That in itself is a real lesson just in marriage, marriage alone. He saw work as an opportunity.
Yes.
And that's something that needs to be revisited. I heard the popular actor Ashton Kutcher, that's the way you pronounce it, speaking to a bunch of, here he's probably $1 million is nothing to him. And he's speaking to these high school kids and he says, look at work as an opportunity. And I thought, they might receive that from him.
Sure.
A lot of people want to start out at the top.
Jack says in his book, he was a real big encourager to the young people. Go get your starting job. Get one that you make tips. You'll learn right then that what you produce, what you put out, that your efforts will come back to you. If you just go show up to flip burgers and make whatever it is an hour, you're not going to learn as much as when you're bussing those tables. And if you really give of yourself the very best to your customer, they're going to reward you for that. And it's a very early life lesson for young people, for any person,
he was a busboy.
Really.
Well, he had so many jobs.
Oh, sure.
He did lawns.
Yeah.
And he was a busboy, worked for Publix, bag boy, I assume. And
This book is filled with, I've got to say, hysterical true life stories. If you don't laugh to where you're crying through some of these stories, then you're just not alive. I mean, they are real, and he tells true life stories, many of them quite humorous. All of them have a lesson learned, and he takes that lesson and he applies these 27 success secrets to build your life, your faith, your business on. It's really a very unique book.
it is, and the website's on the screen where you can get it, or you can get it at Amazon.com. It's so basic. You could write very flowery chapters, I'm sure, on any part of business, but this is what I call horse sense. That and to think that here's a man who really couldn't read until he was an adult.
Yeah. Can I tell you a story?
Sure.
Okay. One of the things that Jack pushed was always improving yourself. Make yourself the very best person you can be. Always improve. And because he wasn't computer savvy, he did everything on notebooks. And like those day at a glance kind of books, those calendars. And he would write certain motivational goals at the top of each page. And it was his habit to write those goals ahead continually. So when he flipped over to it, it would be a reminder. And one of the things he wrote that it talks about in the book is, do I live? Do I love? Do I matter? To make him think about that. Some months after he went to be with the Lord, I was looking back through that and I wondered if there had been, I was looking for his last entries, and I looked to the day that he went to be in the arms of Jesus, July the 8th, 2015. And of course it was a blank page. And at the top it said, do I live? do I love? Do I matter?
I hope the viewers are writing that down.
He did. He did.
He did that.
And the Lord being our helper, each one of us can as well.
And you know, when a person has that motive, that goal in mind, they're enthused about life. That's. I remember my husband had passed away, and you all came over, and I was just asking him, because he had a big landscape business at that point. And I just asked him, what should I put in there? The place was looking kind of
You needed a little help.
The way we were all feeling. And bless his heart, you couldn't get him down. No matter. And come out there one day, and he had landscaped the front of that. And I was so moved.
Oh, he loved you.
I know, but when you take the principles of God, and the principles of God are seed. That's a little tiny thing.
Yeah.
It's got to grow, and he had that understanding. The small insignificant things that most people, you know, they're up here. They're not lowly enough to do these. You build on it and build on it till you have a. He's one of the most successful people I know, and I think mainly because the two of you. It's one of the greatest marriages I've ever seen, Kathy. I mean that.
I was blessed beyond all measure. I truly was. 51 absolutely glorious years. And I miss him terribly, as I know you know. But my heart is at peace. I know exactly where he is. And I'm so blessed to be able to say I don't have a lot of regrets. You know, the missing is painful, but the memories walk on very soft footsteps. I can smile when I see his face and think of him. He was a love.
Apparent that you each adored the other. Sometimes a marriage is kind of lopsided, you know. Somebody cares more than the other one.
No, we had it going on.
You had it going on. It's so good to see you again. Let me remind you again, without a dime, we've had the website up there a long time. It's pleasant reading and so important, because it pulls out those things in life that make life work, and they're not hard to understand. They're pretty simple, and you build on them and build on them, and they're actually really come right out of the foundation of Scripture, something you can learn. So I hope that you'll take advantage of that and get this book. You'll enjoy it so much. Thank you again.
It was a
and thank
joy.
you. Please remember, my friend, there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.